Alex Warren Green on behalf of Ms. Vongpachan. Can you state your name?
Julie Vongpachan.
Your Honor, this time we're asking the court to set the matter for a preliminary examination. If I may address bond.
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Vongpachan was last before the court a week ago. That time she was remanded for bond violations. I believe she had 2 missed tests and a positive test.
That and lying.
Of course, Your Honor.
Okay.
And that's,
Okay, go ahead.
Ms. Vongpachan does wish to apologize to the court today for being dishonest at that time. She's assured me that she will continue testing, that she knows what she needs to do, that if her phone wasn't working or anything else like that, that's really not an excuse to miss testing. She's fully employed, sorry, Your Honor, and cares for her 2 children. Right now, her 2 children are living with her sister, so we're just asking the court to consider reducing her bond. Right now, she's held without bond or a personal bond.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If her children are living with her sister, then I'm really concerned because I do have note that she called the victim 41 times. And my understanding was the only reason to
Excuse me?
the victim was to have contact with the children. So if the children are not with the victim, then I am concerned.
Okay, hold on. So Daniel Gray, I have listed as the victim.
Correct.
Found the street.
There is contact allowing for conversations about the children. That was my understanding of the bond conditions. So if the children are with her sister, I see no reason for her to have contact with the victim.
Well, the conditions that I have is that the only communication that would have been allowed with the victim regarding the children would have been by text.
There have been 41 phone calls.
Your Honor, that's the first I've heard of her making any phone calls from the jail. My understanding is that the children are living with Ms. Vongpachan's sister and that they do spend time with their dad, who's the complaining witness in this case as well. And prior to her incarceration, it sounds like she did have contact with her dad for purposes of raising the children.
Who?
With the children's dad, the complaining witness.
Right.
Yeah.
That's 41 calls this week.
41 calls since she's been taken into custody. That's
Oh, dear God.
Some conversations, we never argued or anything. It's just straight about the kids.
Counsel?
Well, Your Honor, that's the first I've heard of it. I don't think this
You
one.
want to talk to her about it? Because, I mean, here's the problem. Problem is her bond conditions are that she could only communicate with that individual by text. I realize being in custody, that may not be able to happen. But then the only communication that can occur via text is it has to be regarding the children. You got 41 calls to this person. I have 41 calls to this person and then find out that the person that would be caring for the children is not this person, is not the victim. That's a problem. Just on the face of it, it's a problem.
I understand that, Your Honor. And I know Ms. Vongpachan's primary.
I hate to do this to the sheriff's department. Why don't, because theoretically, she may have been released, but this throws a whole new light on everything because she hasn't been doing she's just making her own rules, which is really part of the problem with how she got herself in, outside of lying to me. And now and not following her bond conditions. And then now I've got another one, potential. So let me do this. The sheriff's office would be so kind. Take her back. You might want to talk to her because otherwise. Case people versus Dr. Strong.
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan Barroso, on behalf of people.
And Alex Warren Green on behalf of Ms. Vaughn-Fachan. State your name again.
Julie Bompachan.
Thank you. Your Honor, I had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Vaughn-Fachan. I addressed the phone calls with her. And, Ms. Vaughn-Fachan doesn't deny calling the complaining witness in this matter. I don't know the subject matter of those calls, but what Ms. Vaughn-Fachan tells me is that that subject matter, when those calls are reviewed, is going to come back largely regarding the children, and that the discussions they were having were about the children. The children are staying with her sister while the complaining witness is working. That is filling the void left by Ms. Vaughn-Fachan being in custody. Before Ms. Vaughn-Fachan was in custody, the children would stay with her while the complaining witness worked, and when he wasn't working, would stay with him. So that arrangement is the same. It's just that Ms. Vaughn-Fachan's sister is taking care of the children while the complaining witness is at work. So again, I don't know the subject matter of those calls. What Ms. Vaughn-Fachan tells me.
And you don't know from the people, you don't know the subject matter of the calls.
Your Honor, when I saw 41 calls, I was under the impression that they would be related to the children, but that doesn't eliminate my concern.
I know.
And I'm also concerned at her representation that is largely related to the children, which to me leaves room for an understanding that there's other things being discussed as well.
And Your Honor, what Ms. Vaughn-Fachan tells me is that none of their communications regard the case. None of them are communications regarding what the complaining witness should do or can do or may do. It's nothing to do with that.
Okay, I get that. But all that does is stop additional charges. Right?
Of course.
Or that goes to whether or not there would be additional charges coming from the prosecutor's office. They don't go to what is another violation of the court's order. I mean, just the call itself. I mean, I could even understand if there were a few calls regarding the kids because she can't text because of the position that I can get that. 41?
That's a large number of calls, Your Honor. I understand the question.
And here's my other problem. And this is the problem that people have when they come before me and they lie. You lie to me, then it's hard for me to believe anything that you're saying. And so if you're saying you're calling regarding the children, are there calls to her sister at least?
I have not checked. We don't have the sister's phone number because
Got it.
it's not in the police report.
Counsel, how soon can you get the phone calls to?
I'll send an email request right now.
Pardon?
I will send the email request right now. Usually they get released within a day.
I'll adjourn our probable cause out 1 week to the 14th. 9 a.m. Get the calls over. At this point, I'm not going to set it for exam. At this point, what I'm going to do is then let's do it this way. You wanted it set for exam, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to give you a probable cause date on the 14th to try to address her bond to see if we can get her out of custody without some other thing happening. I'll set her preliminary examination. I'll set that for the 26th, 2024, 9 a.m. That will be before me. Next week, though, will address her bond after you've had a chance to listen to the calls. And right now, she has no way to communicate about her kids at all because she was doing it by text before.
That's right, Your Honor.
And at least pending the hearing next week, her phone privileges, defendant's phone privileges in their entirety are revoked. Just keep making it worse.
In this gripping courtroom scene, the tension rises from the very moment the defendant is brought before the judge, already carrying a long chain of broken rules, missed drug tests, and the heavy shadow of dishonesty from the last hearing where she had lied directly to the court. Her attorney tries to regain lost ground by apologizing on her behalf and explaining that she has a job, 2 children, and real responsibilities waiting for her outside. But the judge isn't convinced so easily, not this time. What truly shifts? The entire atmosphere is the revelation that while in custody, she made 41 phone calls to the victim, a person she was only permitted to contact by text and only about matters involving the children. The judge immediately questions why these calls happened if her children aren't even living with the victim but are instead staying with her sister. This contradiction creates a spiral of doubt, exposing deeper concerns about her choices, her truthfulness, and the pattern she seems unable to break. As her attorney speaks, trying to repair the damage, the judge reflects on a common issue he sees daily: people lying in court and expecting trust to magically return. He reminds her that drug court doesn't remove participants lightly. They give warnings, support, attorneys, and pathways to improvement. Yet she still chose to go against instructions repeatedly. His frustration grows as he describes how people sabotage their own future by making impulsive decisions, like calling someone 41 times and then hoping it won't come up in court. The defendant tries to explain that the calls were mostly about the children, and while that might be true, the judge stresses that the number alone undermines her credibility. He also highlights the emotional danger of inconsistency. Once someone lies to the court, every future statement becomes questionable. Every excuse feels weaker, and every promise becomes harder to believe. With this, the judge orders all phone records to be pulled so the court can review exactly what was said in every call. He refuses to set bond yet because her actions show she hasn't been following rules at all and might continue breaking them if released. He sets a new date to reevaluate the bond, schedules the preliminary exam, and then removes all of her phone privileges in custody, leaving her unable to contact anyone, including about her children, until the truth is fully uncovered. What makes this moment powerful is how the judge shifts from legal authority to a figure trying to teach a life lesson, that small decisions build into major consequences, that trust is earned slowly and lost quickly, and that when someone repeatedly ignores boundaries, the system eventually stops giving second chances. The judge's disappointment is clear not because she failed, but because she keeps repeating the same mistakes while hoping for a different outcome. And as she is escorted back out of the courtroom, the weight of her actions hangs over the room, leaving everyone to wonder whether those 41 calls were the desperate attempts of a mother trying to stay connected or the reckless choices of someone still ignoring the rules. Now her future depends entirely on what those recordings reveal next week: proof of responsibility or proof that she continues to live by her own rules, even inside a jail cell. If you want more shocking courtroom reality true moments that expose ego, power, justice, and the raw reactions people can't hide, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. The next case might hit even harder than this one.